everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Kat, and today I wanted to go over all of the products that are some of my favorites that you can pick up at Sephora, because Sephora is getting ready to have their spring sales event. They have two sales every year, and the one is in the springtime and the other one is towards the end of the year. So the spring one is coming up in April, and so I wanted to do this video to just kind of share with you guys what all of my favorites are that I would recommend if you guys are wanting to pick them up. And so real quick, to just explain the breakdown for the Sephora sale, in case you guys don't know, they have 3 different levels of discounts that you can get. So if you are an insider, that's going to be a 10% discount, and that's going to start on the 15th of April. If you are a VIB member, that one's going to start on the 13th, and that's going to be 15% off. And then if you are a Rouge member, that one starts on the 9th, and you get 20% off. And so anytime I can save some money, that is what I want to do. So I thought that I would just jump into all of what my favorite products are that I would recommend if you guys are wanting to test stuff out. I would throw those your way as possibilities, as well as kicking some of the ideas of things that I'm going to want to potentially pick up as well. And I would love for you guys to let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments. If you've already grabbed some of the things that I'm recommending, if you have other things that are on your wish list, I would love to know what you guys are thinking. So just let me know down in the comments and we can have just an awesome discussion. So first thing up is going to be primers, and Tatcha is going to be my first recommendation. And this one is really, really good if you are looking for a pore filling primer, the liquid one as well as the putty. And let me show you what the putty one looks like here real quick. So it is just this kind of light beigey goop that is in there, and it does have a bit of a interesting consistency. It's almost a bit cream-like, but very, very soft and smooth. I absolutely love it. And I think both of them are really, really good. They have that really nice, like it's this kind of refreshing, citrusy, flowery smell to it. And I think it's really, really pleasant. And so I love putting that on my face. But that is definitely one where I focus more on my T-zone and just trying to fill in the pores along that area. So on my nose, my cheeks, and then a little bit on my forehead. I don't really go to the outside of my face with that product just because that area is more dry for me, and so I don't want to do a mattifying primer on an area where I'm already fairly dry. That's just something to kind of keep in mind, is that I feel like these are better for people that have a little bit more oily skin. During the months where my skin is more dry, I would not necessarily reach for these as much. I would reach more for a hydrating primer instead. And for the hydrating primers, my recommendation is the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. And that's what I have on my face today, and I absolutely love it. It is a little bit more of a tacky consistency, and so as you are applying it, you do want to give it like a minute or two to dry before you start applying the rest of your foundation and concealer. And so I would not just immediately apply it and then jump right in with your foundation. Like, give it a second to set. And just because of that little bit of a tacky nature to it, I wouldn't want to just jump right in. I really, really like it, and I mean, you can tell I've already gone through almost half of this guy and love it. So highly recommend. Then for brow products, I only have 2, one of which I recently had to get rid of because I ran out, and that is from Benefit, and that is probably one of my favorites. I really like that the consistency of the pencil brow product that they have is a little bit softer, just because I'm not very good at doing those precise brow lines, and so I like when the pencil is a bit of a softer, so I can just kind of smudge it around my brows, because clearly I'm not the best at brows. And so I like when they're a little bit easier to use. So the Benefit is definitely one that I would recommend. And then the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz is the other one. And the only difference really between the Benefit and the Anastasia one is that both of them have that softer formula, but this guy is a bit more powdery of a finish rather than a bit more like almost like a pomade and pencil form is how I feel like the Benefit one is. And so this guy is a little bit more dry, and that is what I have on my brows today. This is in the shade Blonde, and I really, really love it. I think it works out absolutely fantastic, and if I do anything deeper than blonde, my coworkers will tell me that I look ridiculous. So I have to stick with lighter brows, and I feel like the shade that you get with the Anastasia one is probably the closest match that I can get to where it looks appropriate with my hair color. For concealers, I have two recommendations. The first one is from NARS, and that's going to be their Radiant Creamy Concealer, and mine is in the shade Light 2.5 Creme Brulee, in case you were curious. I really like this guy. It is super duper lightweight. As I am getting a little bit older, like my fine lines under my eyes are getting more noticeable, and the skin is also getting a little bit thinner, and so I can't put heavy amounts of product on my under eye anymore because it will just immediately get patchy and like crackly, and it just looks absolutely terrible. And so I have to go with significantly lighter weight concealers than what I used to, and so the NARS one is absolutely perfect for that. It does a really nice job of just blurring the lines, getting rid of any dark circles that you have under your under eyes, and is not heavy at all. It is easily the lightest weight concealer while still providing a good amount of coverage. I wouldn't say that it's a full coverage by any means, but it's definitely like on the more between light and medium. So you're getting a not bad amount of coverage. If you're wanting a little bit more coverage, a new favorite of mine is from Marc Jacobs. This is the Extra Shot, and it can be used as a foundation or as a concealer. I just prefer to use it only as a concealer, just because the shade that I got was specifically for kind of being a brightening concealer, and so it's a couple shades too light for my skin tone. I would have to get another one that's deeper if I wanted to test it out as a foundation. But as a concealer, works really nice. It's what I have on today on my under eyes, helps to cover up Dave on my cheek a little bit better, and mine is in the shade Light 150. I really like this. I think it's such a good product. It's not super duper heavy, even though the coverage is a little bit more. So I would say this is closer to a medium coverage, but not quite full coverage, but it's still really nice job. It's not ultra mattifying, but it's definitely more matte than the Radiant concealer is. And so this is more hydrating. This is a bit more on like a soft matte level, I would say. But both of them are highly recommended. I love both of them so much. Then we can get into foundations, and I do have a few different ones that are different types of formulas. So in case you have a certain type of preference of foundation, or that you're looking for a particular finish, I do have a few different recommendations for you guys. So first up is going to be on the tinted moisturizer side. I have two that are my absolute favorites. First one is from Laura Mercier, and you can tell it's just it's getting a bit goopy, and I think there's like maybe this much left in here. This is easily one of my favorites, and this one is in the shade 2C1, and that is definitely my summer shade. I would say if I was going to use this in the winter time, I would need to go with something that's like at least 2 shades lighter, because this guy is a little bit too dark for in the winter time. But this one is the tinted moisturizer that is oil free and has an SPF of 20 in there, which I think is really nice, especially being out in Arizona. Anything that has sunscreen in it, I'm like, give me more. I do also really like that Laura Mercier has this as an oil-free version as well as the regular version. And so if you are someone that has more oily skin and you are wanting the oil-free version, they do have that. And if you are more dry, they have the regular version too. So absolutely love that. The other one that I really like is from Smashbox, and that's the Halo. This is the Healthy Glow All-in-One Tinted Moisturizer, and this one has an SPF of 25 with it. The other thing that is special about this one is it also has a primer in it as well. And I have found that that is actually very true. Sometimes when they say that there's a primer in there, you still end up having to put a primer on beforehand, and this one, you do not have to do that at all. I've applied this many a time. After I've put on my moisturizer, I just go right in with this guy, and flawless. It's really nice. It just does a really nice job of evening out your skin tone on there, getting rid of like any redness or anything like that, or smoothing it out, whatever you would like. It does a really nice job of that. Both of these though, because they are tinted moisturizers, super light coverage, but they just do a nice job of kind of evening out your skin tone on there, which is really nice. On the more matte side of the house, the first one up is going to be the Fenty, and this is the Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation. I love the majority of the Fenty products. I think that they are just really, really good. I have the hydrating foundation as well. That one is more, I would say, like light to medium coverage, so I would almost quantify that in the same realm as a tinted moisturizer, just because you're not getting a huge amount of coverage, but very, very nice all the same. This guy, if you were looking for a really nice matte foundation, this does a really, really nice job. It's not ultra mattifying, and so I don't feel like I end up looking cakey with it at all. It's just a very nice kind of soft blurring effect, which is very, very pretty. And this one is in the shade 185. That is my winter shade. In the summertime, I would need to go a shade or two darker, but this is really, really nice. I absolutely love it. And I am kind of curious, Fenty just came out with a tinted moisturizer, and so that is definitely one of the ones that is on my list to try out. I will have to let you guys know what I think of that after I've gotten it, but it is definitely on the list. Then we have from Beauty Blender, this is the Bounce Liquid Whip Longwear Foundation, and I would put this one at like a medium coverage. It is kind of interesting with how it dispenses, so you've got like a lock that you unlock on the back, and then you push this down and it kind of drizzles out onto here and looks like little spaghetti strings, which is a bit odd, but I really, really like it. I think that it is a very nice matte foundation. Again, I would put it at like a medium coverage level. Very lightweight. You don't feel like you have anything on your face when you're wearing it, and so I really like that, because sometimes matte foundations can feel a little bit heavier and a little bit cakey, and you don't get that with this one at all. And this one is in the shade 2.1C, and that is like, I would say, my normal skin tone. Like, that's probably one that I can use mostly year round. And so I really, really like this one. And they did end up coming out with a larger range, which I thought was good because the initial launch was abysmal. And so they did end up coming out with more shades that are deeper tones, as well as some of the like extra light shades. And so I thought that was nice that they expanded that range. And then the last one is going to be from Benefit. This is the Hello Happy Flawless Brightening Foundation, and that is what I have on my face today. Looks very nice. This is like a cross between a satin and a matte finish, and so it just looks really nice, has a really nice blurring effect. I don't feel like it's heavy at all. Like, I don't even really notice that there's anything on my face, and I really, really like it. This is definitely becoming one of my favorite foundations. And this one is in the shade 3. It's close. It's like right there. Like, I just need for like May, June time frame to roll around, and then this one will be 100% appropriate. All right, then we're gonna go ahead and get into blushes, and I really only have this guy as my one recommendation, and that is from Rare Beauty. This guy is the Melting Blush in the shade Nearly Apricot, and so that is this shade, a bit more of a corally, and that is what I have on my face today, and I really, really like it. I mean, as far as cream blushes go, it is really, really easy to use. Even if you end up putting on too much, it blends out really, really nice and easy. And so I think it's very nice because it just adds like a little bit of that flush, but it's like a hydrating flush, and so it doesn't dry you out at all, and I absolutely love it. I do think that the other Rare Beauty blushes that came in like the concealer tube were not so much something that I was a fan of, just because you had to work really, really quickly to blend it out, and they were very pigmented, where it was like if you did more than one dot on your face, you were gonna look like a clown. And so I didn't like how overly pigmented those were, and it was very, very difficult to blend them out to the shade that I was wanting because of how quickly it would dry out. With this guy, you did not have that problem at all. And so especially if you were someone that is new to cream blushes and you were wanting to try something out, the Rare Beauty ones are definitely a really, really nice one for beginners to go with. And so I would highly recommend this. There is also one that is going to be on my wish list, and that is from Melt Cosmetics. They just came out with a whole line of cream blushes, and there's this one orange shade. I don't know what it is, but like, I want it. Like, I don't have many orange blushes, but I did recently pick up some powder blushes from Lethal, and one of them is this more yellowish orange tone, and I blend that with like the corally one that I got from them, and it is like my favorite thing. And so when I saw that Melt came out with one that was like a nice orange tone, I was like, I need it. I need the orange. So that's gonna be one that I'm gonna pick up. And then for bronzers, I have two recommendations. First one is gonna be from NARS. This is their bronzing powder in the shade San Juan, and this is the matte bronzer. So this is the shade that I have right here. I definitely prefer the matte bronzers. I don't like when they have like goldish speckles in there, just like I don't like for my blushes to be glittery. I want my bronzer and blush to be matte, and then if I want glitter, I'll just add a highlighter on top. So I really, really like this guy. It's a decent amount of pigment, but it blends out really, really nice and easy, and so I really enjoy it. It is what I have on my skin today, and I think it just adds that nice a little bit of a goldish tan to your face, and so I really like this one. The other one, if you are wanting to splurge, this is an option. That is the Tom Ford bronzer. This is the one that is $75. That's already the cheaper one. I don't think that Sephora sells the large size one, which is like, I think $112. I think they only sell this one. But already, I primarily got it just because of how beautiful this packaging is. I don't know what it is about like the combination of white and gold, but I think it looks absolutely beautiful. And I got the one that is the shade 2, which is Terra. They only have 2 shades, and this is the darker of the 2, if that gives you any kind of indication of like the shade range. But I mean, I think it's really, really beautiful, and I did primarily get it for the packaging, but I will say that the product itself is very, very nice. It does a really nice job of blending out and just adds a nice glow, and so I think it's a really good product. And if you've been wanting to splurge, I would only get this if you can get it with the 20% off. I would not get it if you can't get it at a discounted rate, because at that point there are other bronzers that are better. I just primarily got this for the packaging, but it is a good product. It's not like the Chanel bronzer where it's literally like you're breathing in that stale, flowery, perfumey smell that like a lot of luxury products have. You do not have that with this. This is just a normal bronzer that doesn't have any kind of weird perfumey odor, thank God. And then for highlighter, I have 2 recommendations. The first one is from Natasha Denona. This is the Super Glow highlighter, and it is a duochrome highlight, and mine is in the shade 1 Fair, and that is this guy. And that is also what I have on my face. I used a brush to apply this one, and so I was just wanting to go for a little bit of a lighter application. You can absolutely use your fingers and just really go into and like go to town, and it will be blinding. Like this guy can definitely be built up really, really nicely, but I just liked that it was kind of like a pale peachy tone to it. I thought it was very, very pretty, and it is such a soft consistency, really, really nice, and just gives such a beautiful glow. So really recommend this one from Natasha Denona. And then the other one is one that I feel like not a lot of people talk about anymore these days, but it is absolutely still available, and it is one of my favorites if you are looking for more colorful highlights, and that is the Moonchild Glow Kit from Anastasia Beverly Hills. And already this iridescent-y holographic packaging gets me. But there are 6 shades in here, and it ranges from 2 different bluish purples to like more on the peachy and then white tones. And then you also have this guy, which is a bit more of a greenish undertone. And so you have pretty much like every different shade that you would want. I think the only one that isn't really represented in here would be like a gold tone, because the closest thing you have is this one that's a bit of a pink undertone. But I think that they are really, really pretty. They apply super duper easy, and I mean, you can build them up as much as you want, or just use a brush and give a light application. But if you're wanting more of those colorful highlights, this is the one to go with. All right, next up we have mascaras, and I have 2 that are more of my favorites, and then 2 that I just recently tried, and so I wanted to let you guys know what my thoughts were on those. So my favorites are going to be the Urban Decay Perversion mascara, and the brush for this one is definitely one of those thicker bristled ones. That is what I have on my upper lashes today, and I really, really love it. As far as like the richness of the color that you are putting on there, as well as just really helping to thicken your lashes up, this is an outstanding one. Then the other one is from Too Faced, the Damn Girl one. Also a thicker one if you are looking for more of a volumizing mascara. This is definitely another thicker bristled brush. Absolutely beautiful when you apply them. And then the other two that I had tried, the first one is from Milk, and this is their Kush Waterproof Mascara. I have to say, like, I'm not normally a huge fan of waterproof mascaras just because I find that they, for whatever reason, feel a little bit heavier on my lashes and like don't do as good of a job. But this one, a really nice job. Again, a bit of a thicker bristle on there, and I think just does a really nice even job. It's not clumpy at all. Very, very nice. So I would recommend this guy for sure. Plus I like the heavier packaging. It's like actual metal, and so it's got some heft to it. So kind of like that. I don't know why, but I like it. And then the last one is going to be from Benefit, the They're Real Magnet Mascara. And I've been testing this out for about a week now, and pleasantly surprised. I will say this is definitely more of a lengthening mascara, and so if you are looking for like a volumizing mascara, this is not the one for you. But this definitely, like, as you are applying it, you can feel the magnet. Like, it is pulling your lashes. So if you're not ready for that kind of effect, maybe don't try it, but it is for sure an interesting way of applying things. It feels extra weird, but I mean, once you have it applied, like, it lengthens your lashes for sure. I can't say that it didn't do that at all. So this is what the brush looks like. It is more of the synthetic plastic and definitely a thinner brush. Really, really interesting, and I'm not mad at it at all. And I didn't have like any kind of bits or pieces coming off at any point. That was real good. So I've been using it for a week now and every day applying, and no complaints. It's been really, really nice. And then we're gonna move on to lip glosses before we get into the final thing that everyone's waiting on, which is the palettes. So for the lip glosses, because I'm not a huge lipstick fan, as we know, and so I'm only gonna talk about lip glosses with you guys. And the first one is going to be from Fenty, and I have just like a poop ton of the Fenty lip glosses. They're the Gloss Bombs, and this one is in Baby Brute. They are such a nice consistency, not super duper sticky, but just really, really nice. Definitely a huge amount of shine, and I mean, I was pleasantly surprised with them, absolutely. And the doe foot on there, even with the mini guys, is a full-size doe foot, and so you're getting a good size applicator where you don't have to worry really about like, well, it's a tiny doe foot because it's a mini product. It's not. And so I've gotten like six or seven of these because it's like several of them came in a holiday package one that I wanted, and then I got a couple more that are just also minis, but I really, really like them. And so if you're wanting to test out like some solid lip glosses, I would check out the ones from Fenty because they are very, very nice. And then this should come in as no surprise to anybody, given recent events, but Marc Jacobs. I don't know, guys. I mean, so the lip gloss is literally what caused me to start getting more Marc Jacobs products in the first place. And the one specifically that did this is this guy. This looks purple, but it's more sheer, and so it's not as purpley as you would think. And so I have 4. And the one that I have on my lips today is this guy, which is in the shade Enamored, or just Some Girls Enamored. That's an interesting shade name. But that is what I have on my lips today. All of them have a bit of a minty smell to them. I don't feel like it's like a plumping lip gloss where you have to worry about that tingliness. It's just more so like a refreshing mint scent to it. And so I don't mind that at all. Definitely the consistency is one that I really, really like. It is super duper lightweight. Lasts a decent amount of time. Like, I've been wearing this already for a couple hours and it is still really nice on my lips. Really hydrating feeling and it kind of smooths your lips out. Like, I am definitely someone that has very heavily chapped lips, and so even when I put on lip gloss, my lips still feel very, very chapped. And this guy just kind of smooths everything out. And so I would really, really recommend Marc Jacobs if you were wanting to test any kind of lip gloss products out. And a lot of the things from Marc Jacobs right now are on sale on Sephora's website. So on top of the Sephora VIB sale, also just getting the markdown that's already there. So can't beat that at all. All right, and we have reached the last section, the eyeshadow palettes. First one up is going to be from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I am not entirely certain that this one is going to be available. It is still available in some Sephora's, but not in others. Like, I know the website doesn't have it anymore, but if you can get a hold of the Jackie Aina, this was the first palette that I got last year from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I freaking love it. Like, you're gonna see, it is a mess. But I love this palette. It is so, so beautiful. The metallic shades are absolutely gorgeous. They're like, the shade Sponsored is definitely a duochrome of that like really fun, like the dark green to brown duochrome that you can get. Oh, love it. The gold shimmers are really, really nice. The purple shimmer is beautiful. Trust Issues is a nice iridescent metallic. I mean, all of the shades. The mattes are super duper pigmented but blend really well. This is easily my favorite palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and so if you happen to be near a Sephora that still has this available and you have not picked it up, do it. Just don't even question, just do it. You're not gonna regret it, you're gonna love it. You're gonna be like, oh my god. So then the next one up is going to be Natasha Denona, and I have 3 different palettes depending on what your price range is for how much you're wanting to spend. And I know that the Circo Loco palette did not go well recently, but there are a bunch of Natasha Denona palettes out there that are absolutely stunning, where I have had nothing but good experiences with them. I am currently wearing a Natasha Denona palette, and this is the Glam palette. This is definitely going to be a cool toned smoky palette. You can see just lots of browns and grays, very, very cool toned. It is very nice. I did not have any of the issues with this guy that I had with the Circo Loco palette. I mean, you can see just everything. Like, let me come in close so you can take a look. All of the shimmer shades are very, very nice. They all perform beautifully, blend into each other really well. There was no patchiness, nothing, just absolutely stunning. And so this is what I was wanting of quality from the Circo Loco palette, and I didn't get it. This guy is also only $65. So it is one of the less expensive palettes. So if you have not picked this one up yet and you are wanting a really nice cool tone smoky palette, this is the one to get. Then on the extra inexpensive side, if you are wanting a nice neutrals with a pop of green, this palette is your gal, and this is the Mini Star palette. You can see I've gotten a decent amount of use in there, digging into them, especially this shade. This is another one of those that's the green to kind of brown shimmer. You have a nice gold shade in there, 2 matte shades, and then another nice kind of pinkish gold. They are really, really nice, easy to apply, blend out beautifully. The matte shades are really, really nice. The metallic shades, I usually just go in with my finger and apply them, but you can also use your brush. Either way, it works really, really nicely. And so if you are wanting to have a nice neutral palette with a pop of color, this guy's a really, really good one to get, especially if you like your green tones. And then the last one from Natasha Denona that is on the more expensive side, being one of the 125 palettes, is the Trichrome palette. So this guy is nothing but matte shades, and then you have 3 multi-chrome shades in the middle. There were a lot of mixed reviews that I saw from other creators on this palette, but I have to be honest, for me, it worked beautifully. The matte shades blended really, really nicely. Nothing was patchy. You could create gorgeous looks just from the matte shades, and each of them is really, really nice with their color stories. But the whole bottom row there is all really nice greenish tones. Then you have really nice lilac purple tones, and then you have more of your peachy to orange shades on the final row. And then each of the different multi-chrome shades is absolutely beautiful. The top one that's the green one is Scarab, and she does also have that as a liquid multi-chrome, but I gotta be honest, I think that the powder one applies beautifully. Like, you don't have to get the liquid one to get a decent amount of opacity, and so I think all three of the metallics were really, really nice, and they fit into the color story perfectly. So if you are wanting to spend a little bit more money and get a more colorful palette from Natasha Denona, this is the one that I would recommend. I mean, it is, I feel like, worth what you're spending. Then we have from Makeup by Mario. I had done a video on this a little while ago. I'll link it up here for you guys if you want to check it out, where I demonstrate how to use these. This is the metallic palette that he has that are the master metals. And so there are 5 metals in here. It comes with a little spatula for you to scoop them out into the tray down here. You can remove the tray to clean it out. And so you scrape them down into there, and then you apply this guy along with it, which is a mixing medium. I would recommend getting both things. The mixing medium is not only great for mixing with these, this is also my go-to mixing medium for any of my loose pigments that I have. Any of the metallics that I've gotten from places like Chaos Cosmetics, Tammy Tenuka, any of those, this is my preferred one. It is the one where I get the best result, and so I like that I can use it for more than just this one product. So I think the mixing medium is great, and I definitely think that this is some of the best foiled metallics that I have come across. They are absolutely stunning. I really, really loved it. I did test it out without the mixing medium, and they are nice on their own, but if you are wanting that true foiled look, you need the mixing medium along with it. And it's not hugely expensive to get the palette or the mixing medium, but together I feel like it is getting up there, so it's nice to get it during a sale, but I highly would recommend it. And then the very last thing is we're going to talk about Pat McGrath. Now, on the website, there are only a few of the Pat McGrath palettes. I know that they have several of the Astral Quads available, but none of those quads are ones that I feel like really stand out to me. The one that I would have gotten is, of course, the one quad that they don't have online. So we're just going to talk about the larger 10-pan palettes for today. So they didn't have the green or the blue palettes available, and so I was a little bit sad about that, because if you love blues, that blue palette is like the absolute best thing ever. I did a week of Pat McGrath like back in January, and so if you're wanting to see like what all of the different palettes can do, go check that out. But the ones that they do have available, there are 3 of them that I can talk about, and the first one up is going to be the Bronze Seduction one, which is this guy. It's a very nice palette, especially if you're just wanting to have kind of a glam, smoky type palette. This is the one. It definitely has the deepest tones in it out of the 3 that I'm going to be talking about, because you have this entire bottom row here where you've got 2 really nice deep matte shades, a really nice medium transition there, as well as just some very, very nice metallic shades. The red one is a deeper cranberry red, and so that one can also be used for creating a nice smoky eye. And then you do also have on the outside here 2 more of the multi-chrome style of shades where it has some very beautiful shifts to it. And then this guy is just that special formula, but it is just more of a pink metallic. But I think that all of these shades are super duper beautiful. So the Bronze Seduction one would definitely be my top choice out of the 3 that I'm going to talk about. And so if you do not have that one yet and you are wanting to get one of the larger palettes that has really nice formulas in it, Bronze Seduction would be my recommendation, and that one is the Mothership 5. Then we have the 2 Divine Rose palettes. They are more on the neutral side, especially just the Divine Rose 1 palette. And so let's have a gander at that guy first. You can see super duper neutral. There's not a ton of deeper shades. You do have this one brown, but honestly, that brown is more of a medium brown. It's not super duper dark. And so this is going to be more of just a lighter neutral palette. You do have 4 of the specialty shades on there as well, but really only like this guy up top here and then this one down here are the two that are going to be more of your shifting shades. This guy up top here I found to be a bit more on the dry side and just kind of like champagne-y speckles of glitter that you're applying. I didn't find it to be as opaque as I would like normally, but this guy is super duper pretty. So if you like that orange to peach shift, it is a very pretty shade. So you can kind of see that shift on there. And then this guy is more of your iridescent lighter shade. So I think that those are very, very pretty, but this is definitely the most neutral palette you're gonna come across. It is neutrals on neutrals on neutrals. So that one shifty shade right here is like the most color you're gonna get out of this entire thing. But if you like neutrals, this is the one to get because it is a very good neutral palette. Then the Divine Rose 2 palette, this is more of your colorful palette. A lot more pinks and purple shades on there. This guy is a bit of a deeper tone. The metallics themselves are deeper. The 4 shades on here are way more shifty than you had on the other one. So this pink guy right here has a pink to green shift with like purple in the middle. And so you can see there's the green, then the purple, and then front on is pink. And so definitely a very cool multi-chrome. You have these other 3 shades that have shifts to them. This kind of looks a bit more pinkish. And then I'm seeing yellow. You have a beautiful, very yellow sunrise yellow shade. And then a really nice orange foiled shade. And then 4 other metallics actually. So you only have 2 matte shades in this entire palette. This is just a true hot pink metallic. And then you have 3 other metallic shades in there as well. So if you're wanting the more colorful one, the Divine Rose 2 is the one to get. And that is my thought on those. I do really wish that they had the blue one available or the green one, because those are definitely my favorite palettes. And so if I was going to really, really recommend anything from Pat McGrath, it would be one of those 2. But unfortunately, at least on the website, they are not available. If you happen to go to a Sephora that has them available, the blue one would be my top choice, green one second choice. Controversial, I know, but I love the blue one. But let me know what you guys thought down in the comments below. Have you tested out any of these products? What did you think of them? Do you disagree? Do you agree? Is there anything different on your wish list that you were wanting to check out that I didn't talk about, that you would want to know what my thoughts are, or you just want to share with me what you're wanting to get? I just would love to have a conversation with you guys down in the comments, so please, by all means, let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Let me know what you thought. If you want me to do this again for the Sephora sale that's coming up in the fall, giving some new updated options on things to purchase, I can absolutely do that, but just let me know either way. And best of luck with the shopping. Again, the Rouge sale starts on the 9th, and then 13th for VIP, and then 15th for the Insider, and then it ends just completely on the 19th. So we do have a little bit of time to kind of be looking through things. Hopefully they will restock, because there are quite a few things that are currently out of stock, which is very, very annoying to me. And so if they have a sale where things are out of stock, I'm gonna be real butthurt. Because there are definitely a couple brands where I'm like, I wanna try this. But if you made it to the end of the video and you have not yet subscribed, I would sure love it if you would subscribe. We have a lot of really awesome indie brands coming up that I'm going to be featuring, and just a whole lot more talk about colorful makeup, neutral makeup, whatever you guys want. I am happy to talk about it. So feel free to subscribe, come join my family on here. And other than that, happy hunting with Sephora, and you guys just go have a good one.